A Central Texas family searches for answers tonight after a home on their mother's East Side property ended up getting demolished. The Alexanders say what happened next was appalling. They called the KVUE Defenders for help. Here's investigative reporter Jenny Lee.
It held decades of memories.
That's why I was born and raised. That's why I watched.
Talking about his childhood home proved too much for Joe Alexander.
My son, come up.
He's not the only one upset.
And for someone to just come take it hurt mentally and physically.
In March of 2024, Robert Alexander said he stopped by the home.
I go down there and check on things.
And made a startling discovery. The house where he grew up was gone.
That was shocking.
Pictures show scattered pieces of wood and dirt where his mother's home once stood.
I didn't know what had happened to it.
Everything was still inside. All of our family heirlooms, everything was destroyed.
It's just not right what happened.
We met up with family members.
Sitting with my two brothers and my cousin Roscoe.
At a nearby park in East Austin. They explained that their mother, Julia Alexander, died in 1979. And Charles, seen in this family photo as a little boy, was born in that home and lived there until early 2024.
And when we talked to our brother who lived there, he said the same thing. People kept coming by. I kept getting letters and things like that, phone calls saying that we were behind on taxes and we had to leave. So that's why my brother left. And immediately after that, house was torn down.
After learning their childhood home no longer existed, came another surprise.
And a new foundation had been paved for a duplex.
A picture captured the beginning of construction on the land. Now, more than a year later, a brand new duplex sits on the property where the Alexander family home once stood.
And do you know how to contact your neighbor?
Charlie?
We talked to the renter who lives in that brand new unit on the Alexander property side. He says he had no idea of his new home's history.
Shock, but to hear that, all this is happening is very unfortunate.
We started digging. First, a property search on the Travis Central Appraisal District shows 118 Kimball Lane still under Julia Alexander's name and her son Charles. Precise Custom Homes owns the land right next to it. That property only identified as Kimball Lane, no street number attached. But an online search shows the new duplex on 118 Kimball Lane with the address of 120 Kimball Lane listed on several real estate sites. A City of Austin construction permit search for 120 Kimball Lane revealed several building permits, including one for demolition, issued February 16, 2024, a month before Robert's visit. Secretary of State's office listed Danny Oliveras as president and director of Precise Custom Homes, seen here on his public LinkedIn profile. We reached out several times. We called, left several messages.
Hi, Danny. This is Jenny Lee with KVUE News.
Emailed, sent direct messages on social media, and text. On May 6th, I asked Mr. Oliveras if he wanted an opportunity to take part in a story about 120 and 118 Kimball Lane. He wrote, "I'm not asking for an opportunity." He asked me to stop pushing, that he was a big fan, and that the complainer is trying to get something for free. On May 7th, I reached out again. I asked for his response to the Alexander family's claim that he tore down their mother's home at 118 Kimball Lane. He told me to stop harassing him. Mr. Oliveras also wrote that I'm wasting time because the home was foreclosed on in the 70s. When I asked for that paperwork, he wrote no. A check with the Travis County Tax Office showed about $15,000 worth of back taxes for the past 3 years, but a spokesperson says they have never attempted foreclosure. So we reached out to real estate attorney Julia Knoll.
We were primarily looking at 2 lots, a lot 8 and a lot 9, and finding out what had happened to this family's estate.
KVUE and the law firm hired a title company for what's called an ownership and encumbrance report.
And we have found that the estate of Julia Alexander still has property on lot 8.
The report found that lot 8, where unit B of the new duplex sits, is on Julia Alexander's property. A deed of trust from the Travis County Clerk's office shows Precise Custom Homes acquired the land next to it in 2023. That deed mentions along the southeast line of said Julia Alexander's track indicating where the two properties meet.
It appears that a developer bought the lot 9 and then unfortunately forced the family out for lot 8, took down their home, bulldozed it, and then moved into it and actually built on it.
Null says while we know what happened, we don't know why it happened. But she says one thing is clear.
When they bought lot 9, it very specifically said in their legal description that it butted up to Julia Alexander's property, showing that they did not own that property. So I'm not sure where the confusion happened.
Meantime, there is no confusion for the Alexanders.
Oh, it makes us angry. It makes us very angry.
As the family navigates a range of emotions and prepare for what's next.
We're ready for a fight.
To reclaim their family's property.
And we're Alexanders. That's what we're here for.
The Alexander family is now considering a lawsuit for wrongful taking of property against Precise Custom Homes. Attorney Julia Null says, unfortunately, she has seen this happen in her 29 years specializing in real estate law. She said it works because a lot of the time, people don't fight back.